This is a video of Riverside Park. Um, this is the history of the park. (1887), John Agawam bought the grove called Agawam's Grove. This is from 1895, and they used to call it Riverside Grove. This is 1615 Main Street. So this is 1895. So Riverside Grove is located on the Connecticut River. So people used to come from West Springfield, Hartford, Holyoke, Chicopee, and to come to Riverside Grove. They had picnics. People used to come here on the weekends to have picnics. The only rides they had at the time is swings. This is 1906. This is the first major ride. This is the carousel. Here's the picnic grove. This is the fun house. This is the Giant Dipper. This is the first roller coaster at the park. This is from 1912. It's called the Giant Dipper from 1912. This is another view of the Giant Dipper from 1912 at Riverside Grove at the time. This is the Greyhound coaster. This is the other roller coaster they built 1920 at Riverside Park. They opened this new ride on May 22nd, 1920. This is 1915. On a nice, beautiful summer day. 1915. This 1915, they had self-service restaurant. It's new for this 1915 season. So 1895, towards the end of the 1800s, they used to call it Garb's Grove, and they used to call it Riverside Grove, and then eventually they changed to Riverside Park. This is 1916. It's Pat Hot Summer Day. This is 1913. I see a little Ferris wheel in the background. This is 1917. This is 1919. It's part of the Carousel building in Midway. There's root beer stand over there. This is 1920. I see a big roller coaster in the background. This is 1921. This is the airplane tower ride. This is 1919, a tightrope show. It has shows at 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. Riverside Park, yes go. This is a streetcar from Springfield. The streetcar used to take folks from Springfield to Riverside. This is 1938. This is the mid 20s and 30s. It's 1932. They had like a nice ballroom dance pavilion. They had like live bands. Famous people used to perform there. It's like the 1920s and 1930s. It's like the big band days at the park. And a whole bunch of people used to go to the park to see Benny Goodman. This is 1914. This is a dance hall next to the Connecticut River. This used to be the racetrack used to be at. And right now, Superman Ride still is over there now. It's 1927 in the dance hall. It's the dance hall. It's where all the famous bands, jazz bands, used to play at in the 1920s and 30s. Benny Goodman played there. A lot of jazz famous people play there, especially big bands. This is the Crystal Ballroom at Riverside Park. This is the show lineup. They had a big swimming hole at Riverside Park. This is where the park lot next to the water park. But right now, what stands there today is Joker's roller coaster. This used to be the water hole. After the water hole, the parking lot. They covered the whole water hole with the parking lot. Then right after, they put the Joker roller coaster right there. It's right next to the water park. It's 1917. It's the water hole at Riverside Park. It sounds like a swimming pool at daytime. This is 1917 at the water hole at Riverside Park. Here's the park in 1917. So like the 1970s and 80s, they shut down a pool and they put black top on it, over it. So in 1980s, when people parked their cars, people used to see the structure. People used to park near the structure. See, it's from 1980s now. It's the same structure we just saw. This is an old, swimming hole right here, and they covered the top with parking lot. They made out a parking lot, and people used to park next to the structure, and people used to say, "Where's this used to be?" And the park used to tell them, "Y'all parking on the old swimming hole spot." This is the old swimming hole. So in like the 1800s, early 1900s, they had a river boat from Springfield taking on the Connecticut River and drop you off at Riverside Park. This is the river boat coming from Springfield, Massachusetts, on the Connecticut River, dropping you to Agawam, Mass, to Riverside Park. People getting off the river boat, and this is the old Riverside Grove. This is where the picnic grove is at now. Two river boats to Riverside Park. They have boats going to Springfield and to Riverside Park every hour. This is at night time. People going home from the long, hot summer day at the park. This is in Springfield. This is a bridge from Springfield, Mass. And that bridge still standing there as of today. This is the dock at Springfield. And as of today, there's nothing there at the dock. But they used to do river boat rides tours of the city on the Connecticut River in downtown Springfield. Like the late 90s and to the 2000s. But they stopped now. But they might come back with the boat tours. That's what I heard. This is the owner of Riverside Park. It's Edward J. Carroll. This is his son, Edward J. Carroll Jr. After his father retired, his son took over the business. This is Kitty Lane at Riverside Park in the 1950s and 60s. It's at Kitty Lane, 1960. So 1939, the New York World's Fair had a roller coaster. It's called a Thunderbolt. But 1940, Mr. Carroll bought the roller coaster from the New York's World's Fair, and they put the roller coaster at the park in 1941. They opened the Thunderbolt, and the roller coaster is still there. This is the golf course, the mini golf course. This is the carousel cafeteria. It's from the 1960s. That's where people used to get their food at. This is the Midway from 1950s. The Fun House. This is 1960s. It had like a nice water ride. After they tore this down, they had another ride called the Jungle Ride. They had like a boat ride around the. Then they tore that down, put Shipwreck Falls. They tore that down, put a roller coaster on that land. So this is the Jungle Ride. Used to be in that spot. And that ride been there from 1960 to 1996. They tore the ride down. In 1997, they built Shipwreck Falls. This is the 1959 season. This is the monorail. It's the brand new ride up for the season. And monorail was there from 1959 to 1996. I'm sorry, 1997. And this ride used to go travel around the park, the whole park. This is the 1950s. They had like a western area. This is like a small western area at the time. But they had like a nice train ride over there. The train ride is from 1950s to 1990, I think 1993 or 95. I think they took the train out. It's one of them years. But the train ride been there for a long time. And they removed the train ride to put some more new rides in. Around like 1995. They closed this attraction. This is the old western area at the time. This is the train ride. Riverside Park had like a lot of nice flat rides. They had Paratrooper, Tilt-A-Whirl, Scrambler. Back in the 70s and 80s, the Kennedys used to go to this park a lot. And Ted Kennedy liked to bring his kids over here. That was their favorite spot for the summertime. They used to go to Riverside Park 5 times a year. This is the Paratrooper. The Paratrooper used to be next to Thunderbolt. And now Screen Towers is in that spot now. You need 4 tickets to ride this ride. This is like one of my favorite flat rides. I love the old Paratroopers. It's like a classic. In the 1970s, they was very unpopular. This is Riverside Park. They had a roller skating ring there. Then I think like in the 1960s they tore it down and built a brand new one across the street from the park. And the building's still there, but the building is that's HR now. This is a brand new skating ring, and they built in the 60s. It was 60s, 70s, and 80s. And now, as today, this is the HR building across the street from the park. Yeah, so this is the HR building now. It looks different back in the day. 1971, they built a loop coaster called the Loop Coaster. Then in the 80s, they renamed it to the Black Widow. 1983, Mr. Carawan built a big wooden coaster and he wanted to break records. So this is a brand new Riverside slide cone. It's 1983. This is the grand opening. Mr. Carroll broke records in the state. In 1994, the owners of the park built a casino next to the Connecticut River, next to the old racetrack. But the town of Agawam did not want the casino and hotel resort, so they canceled their plans. In 1948, they built a Riverside Speedway. This racetrack. Every weekend had races. From 1970s to 1999 was the last race at the park. Then Six Flags of New England came in 2000, and they built Superman Rise still in DC area, superhero DC area. Every Saturday nights they have races at the park. It's 1975. This is 1971 race ticket. $3.50. $3.50.